Well, it feels good to be back in this building. Welcome back to today's video. We are inside the Paulie Davis Pavilion here in Red Bluff, California, and this racetrack behind me is known as the Red Bluff Outlaws. If you've been around for a couple of years, you know the drill, but for everyone that is new, we are in Northern California right now, and our sprint car season just ended last week. And for us, we race all year round because we compete during the winter time in the Outlaw Kart division, which is very popular here along the West Coast. So this week is actually the second and third points race as we run today and tomorrow. I missed the first one last weekend for the Trophy Cup, but now I'm back and I plan on running the rest of the season with Factory QRC. So Red Bluff is such a unique joint. It has so much history, and there has been a lot of big names throughout the years that have came and got their start here and then moved on to much bigger and better things. And as usual, we love to support it. It is a typical short track racing inside of these walls. Sometimes I can never put it into words, but there's just something about running here, and when you can be successful here and when you can win here, it truly does mean a lot. So real quickly, before we jump into the night, I want to show you a little bit about my ride for the season and the color scheme that Factory QRC decided to go with. Well, this year, folks, we are back to the red, the QRC red to be exact. Excited to get this thing out on the racetrack here at the Red Bluff Outlaws. Jimmy always builds like one of the best rides in the pit area. It is the best ride in the pit area, and I'm excited to get the opportunity to work with him once again this season. As normal, it's gonna be like a typical Red Bluff format. We're gonna hit the track for qualifying, no hot laps here. You go out there, you have to run 3 perfect laps to start your night, and then that will set you up for the heat race and the rest of the show. So Red Bluff's my place. I love racing here, and I think if we can get going like we always do, we obviously have a good shot at competing for a victory tonight, and that is the end goal, to be parked on the front stretch at the end of it. So we're gonna head out and qualify and see where we end up and kind of work on getting our race car better throughout the weekend. Well, first laps back at Red Bluff are done. Ended up going out a little bit later than mid-pack. I think we have somewhere around 35 opens in our class, and it's normal Red Bluff. Racetrack is maybe a little slicker than normal. The first couple guys ran good times, and then as it is going, it's just tougher and tougher to run a good lap. Felt like I probably left about a 10th on the table. I was in 8.8. I think I could have been in a low 8.7, 8.6 bracket maybe. Just need to kind of get back in the rhythm of this place. Laid down some all right times. Only got 2 laps and then caught the car in front of me because they had an incident, but overall not bad. I think we're gonna probably end up right outside the top 10 probably, which would put us on the front row of a heat race. So we'll just have to see. Last couple cars are going. Feels good, the car feels good. Like I mentioned earlier, we're just gonna have to keep working on it, get it comfortable for me, and get back in our rhythm is the biggest thing tonight. Well, open qualifying is 100% wrapped up. We're just making some adjustments to our cars now for the heat race. Ended up 12th quick, as I predicted, probably somewhere right outside the top 10, which will time us perfectly for the invert and trying to have a great starting spot for tonight's main event. Thanks, Brody. We're gonna be starting front row outside of heat race number 2, and if you've never watched any of our Red Bluff videos, the heat races are usually the most intense part of the night, and it's only 8 laps around the track, which go by quickly when you're doing that in 8 or 9 seconds. So we're gonna get after it, like I mentioned, make a couple adjustments to our cars, get a little bit better, and try to adapt for the track conditions as they start to slicken off. devices are complete. Started on the front row there and was able to get a good jump and lead all the laps. The restart and initial start zone is different than the previous seasons. It's almost on the front straightaway, so the second line where you have to start is like at the flag stand, or just, I mean, it's not all the way there, but it's pretty close. Happy with the start to our night though. I feel like I said in the last clip, just got to keep working on our race car a little bit, and I just got to keep getting in my rhythm. I felt better, but the track is almost difficult to run as well, so it's not like it's super smooth. It's a little rough up top, and it has a lot more grip on the bottom, but it's just almost soft down there, so it seems like as you get in, it's easy to get knocked around, and it almost feels like you're driving a bucking Bronco. I mean, you can toss the front end, you just get sideways. It's hard to keep your car on all four wheels. With that though, we're locked into tonight's main event. We have a while until we hit the track next, and we're just gonna hang out, watch and see what the surface does, watch all the other cars go, and figure out a game plan so we can try to pick off a win later.
Tanner Holmes will make it official. He will have the number 2. And so that's going to put Steven Gannon and Tanner Holmes on the pole, or on the front row, I should say, of the Main Street Deli Dash. And Tanner's actually going to give some love to the people on this side of the stands, and that was almost went under the stands. So you got to work on your form there, Tanner Holmes, but that's all we've got from down here. We got trophy dashes coming up here in just a moment.
Well, trophy dashes are complete. This year they're doing a little bit differently. The dashes are the top 6 redraw cars. So we went out, pulled a pill. I got the 2, which is usually pretty good, but then we had to race for position there. Started front row outside and was running second for the first, 3 laps or so, and then racing got really intense. Only thing I'm kicking myself over in that dash is I should have just taken care of business. I think I was faster than the car in front of me that was on the pole, or we were kind of even, and I should have just probably pulled the trigger on a slide job down here or down in 1 and 2 and just got out front. But I tried to be patient and use the bottom, and we made contact because the outside car got loose into me, and then I think it was the 69 who started maybe 4th. He pulled a bomb on the leader, and the last 2 or 3 laps of the race was just chaos. No one was really driving with too much common sense. So just crazy because we're in a dash, and so we're trying to save our equipment for the A, which is up next. But ended up dropping back to 4th with how things fell. We're gonna start second row outside. Not a bad position to be in, but feel like our race car is good. We just didn't get a chance to see where it was at because I was constantly in traffic and never really got to the high side, which seemed to be a little bit quicker than the bottom. So we'll roll off from the second row outside starting position. Gonna make our race car, just keep working on it. Right now it doesn't look like it's gonna take rubber. I think it might just stay slick and maybe at the end of the feature, but right now the racetrack's just extremely dirty, and when it's like that, it's actually usually slower and never cleans off to start, start laying that rubber down. We'll be out in just a little bit, but here's kind of a last look at the surface.
boys, for the driver out of Jacksonville, Oregon, Tanner Holmes. Thanks, Packwood, Superior Wood Products, Open Main Event feature winner.
Well, I always talk about how cool it is to win races at Red Bluff, and this one feels good. Part of it is it's taken a second for me to kind of get excited, because if you guys watched that race or you rode along with the GoPro, I don't even know how much I put in, but there was so many cautions, and I just constantly kept getting stuck in third on the inside, and there was just not a lot I could do. Like I was literally trapped in my own little box, and I was trying to not do too much and get myself in a caution, or not, I don't know, just like kept trying to maintain and wait for my opportunity. And sure enough, we waited the whole race, and with 4 laps to go, maybe it was 5 to go, I don't know, somewhere towards the very end, they started sliding each other. Someone got dirtied, the leader got dirtied, and then second got collected with him on the slide job, and the seas literally parted for me. I had 2 more restarts to finish the race, and we got the job done for a $1,000 to win points race number 2 victory. So happy with our race car. Felt like we were just as good early as the 2 guys in front of us at one point when we actually got to pace them, which was Landon Brooks and Carson Souza. But it's just tough when you're all the same speed and you have a lot of yellows. It's difficult to make anything happen. But thankful for the hot rod Jimmy built me. This thing's so much fun to drive, and glad, even though it was a long race and it wasn't really a whole lot of fun because there was just so many crashes, we persevered and we put ourselves in the right spot to be successful and cross the checkered flag first. Here's a look at the racing surface after tonight's show. Opens ran second out of 6 classes, so it kind of started to rubber up after we went, but while we were out there, it was mainly just slick. I mean, it started to get a little abrasive at the end and probably a little bit harder on tires, but we never really ran a bunch of laps besides one time to even get a ton of heat in our tires and kind of have a chance for any of us drivers to get going and try to, you know, start building speed and momentum and plan out our race. But the word and the term I would use to describe our A main event, one, perseverance, because we were kind of, you know, we were never in a great spot to win the whole time, but we kind of just hung out. So that's the term that I would use. We literally just hung out up front, put ourselves in a position that if an opportunity presented itself like it did, we made the most of it. Guys got racing hard, people made contact, they kind of took care of themselves, and the seas parted and we got out front and won the race. They are getting ready to work on the Red Bluff Outlaws surface for tomorrow's show. Real quickly, I want to take a second to thank Jimmy Elledge, Factory QRC, Durst Incorporated, Jet Performance Labs, Adams Investing, Burris Racing Tire, and everyone that supports our program. It's going to be a fun winter. Love racing with Jimmy. This, you know, people ask, why do you put so much into kart racing? Why do you still pay attention to it during the winter time? One, it's something to do, but 2, you got to understand the group I get to race with and the people that I'm around. One, it's the people I grew up with, but we just have such an awesome group of people that work hard and love winning races. So we'll see you guys all tomorrow for the Tyler Wolf Memorial and try to sweep the weekend. Deuces.